So Joe Rogan, he honestly, he kind of hides his power level sometimes, where he'll put this face on in front of the public where he backs away from the maximalist claims that he actually believes on certain issues, and he'll try to soften it to make it more palatable, right? And this is an instance of him basically running into a brick wall and getting called out for having some bullshit beliefs. So you're about to see here, this was during one of the Fight Companion podcasts, and it's him talking to Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen. Brendan Schaub's a former fighter, and now he does a podcast. Brian Callen is a comedian who's got a whole bunch of allegations against him, but we won't get into those right now. So Joe Rogan, they somehow stumble on this conversation of vaccines. And Brian Callen happens to be correct that vaccines are good. And they work. But of course, Rogan gets absolutely triggered because somebody dare point out an objective fact, and then he starts going down this path. And as he's going down the path, he's going, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it, but I don't want to do it. And he keeps getting caught. He overreaches time and time again. Let me tell you, the first time I listened to this, I was fucking face-palming hard. And it really is astonishing because I did one of the things that he would never want you to do, which is actually look shit up as he's talking about it. And let me just say up front before you watch this, literally everything he says here is wrong. Like, everything he says. And the thing that you're about to witness is he's actually not a humble guy. Back in the day, the people gave him credit because like he had like a childlike curiosity, which made his podcast good. It led him to ask good questions and bring out the best in people, right? But that childlike curiosity is so dead and gone. Now he's an arrogant prick who thinks he knows everything about what he's talking about when he literally doesn't know the first fucking thing about what he's talking about. Okay, so here we go. Debate on vaccines, and Joe Rogan is going to accidentally show what he really believes. Watch.
Let's get to the bottom of
like
that.
anorexia.
What's causing all that? How come 1 in every 12 kids who's a boy in California has autism now? Because that's what's going on. That's what's going on in California, which has one of the strictest fucking vaccine policies. 1 in 12. Did I say vaccines cause autism? Maybe I will have
RFK's getting to that, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's Joe kind of admitting he thinks vaccines cause autism. Now, I could run that back and play it for you, or you could just pause the video and go back and watch it again. But what he's saying there is, yes, I think vaccines cause autism. Now, there is an actual answer to his question. Hey, why has there been seemingly an increase in autism as time has gone by? Well, one of the first things you point out is diagnostics have gotten way better. The further back you go, the more people go, autism? What the fuck is that? Is that a new brand of a TV that just came out on the market? The further back you go, people aren't thinking about autism. They don't care about autism. It barely occurs to them. So obviously the numbers are going to be very low if people are not really looking for it. Now we have way better diagnostics and people actually look for this shit and test for this shit. And so of course, naturally, the numbers are going to go up. The percentages are going to go up because now we're looking for it. That's point number one. Point number two is, and he has no idea about this. He doesn't know anything about the actual science and real answers to it. But as the years have gone by, people have started having kids older and older. Well, apparently one of the things which increases your likelihood for autism is like the older your father is, the more likely it is you have autism. So if you end up, having a baby with somebody and you were 40 at the time, okay, well, your likelihood of that kid having autism goes up quite a bit compared to somebody who's 26 and has a baby at that time, right? So those are the things that are actually Occam's razor and most straightforward. Are there some answers we don't know? Sure, there are some answers we don't know, and I'm sure they were studying it until RFK goes in there and just busts it all up and injects whatever bullshit junk science he wants to inject into the conversation. But yeah, those are the broad trends that we're talking about. The idea that vaccines cause autism is a thoroughly debunked bullshit-ass talking point. In fact, the guy who released the first study that said vaccines cause autism, he got his medical license revoked because the study was fucking fraudulent. The study was fraudulent. His name was Dr. Andrew Wakefield. Don't take my word for it. You go look it up. Number one, Penn and Teller did a great episode on this on their show called Bullshit. It was like an old Showtime show from the late 90s, early 2000s. Show called Bullshit. They did one on how anti-vaccine views are bullshit. You can learn about Dr. Andrew Wakefield there, or you can just look him up and read about him. But he literally got his medical license revoked because that study was totally fucking fraudulent about how vaccines cause autism. By the way, not only that, the anti-vax people said it's this specific ingredient in the vaccines that is causing the autism. And that ingredient was thimerosal. That was the name of the ingredient. So here's what the pharmaceutical companies did. They said, well, number one, that's not true because it wasn't true. It was a made up study and the thimerosal is just a preservative. There's nothing really wrong with it. But the pharmaceutical companies went, okay, we'll remove the thimerosal. Oh, or we'll give you the option. You could have one of the vaccines with the preservative, the thimerosal, or if you want a vaccine without the thimerosal, we'll start producing that, and you can have that, a vaccine with no thimerosal, which is the thing that you say causes autism. So they addressed the thing that they said was the issue anyway, and these fucking idiots are still out there going, oh, but vaccines cause autism. But wait a second. You said it caused autism. It was the thimerosal doing it. They removed the thimerosal, and now you're still saying the vaccines cause autism? It's almost like you're a bunch of fucking idiot liars. And you narrative hump all day. You found some shit that you want to fucking cling to, so you just harp away on that all day, even though your fucking issue has already been addressed and answered. God, I hate this motherfucker so much. Oh my God, he's so... Wait, this gets really bad, by the way. We're just getting started.
And now Florida doesn't demand vaccines.
Yeah, that's dangerous to me.
Yeah, they're not doing any more vaccine mandates for kids in school in Florida. So you know how schools are little fucking petri dishes where everybody gets sick all the time? That's about to get way fucking worse. Way worse. Woo, there's going to be some bugs coming out of Florida this year, bro. Let me tell you.
Jump on that train.
Of course, it's dangerous, Brian. What are you talking about?
Tetanus,
Tetanus.
tetanus.
No.
Just go down the road we're
You
on?
need to bail on the tetanus thing because Suzanne Humphreys.
Educate his ass.
Suzanne Humphreys explained tetanus.
She's not a vaccinologist. I know that woman. What are you talking about? So you're saying we
She's a
shouldn't have
medical
vaccines?
doctor that absolutely understands tetanus. She said tetanus.
Rogan's the kind of guy who finds, like, he'll find if 99% or 99.8% of the climate change studies say climate change is real and it's man-made and it's going to cause all these problems, he will go find the 0.2% of studies that don't say that, or find the one ExxonMobil-funded scientist that doesn't say that, and he'll say, this guy found the actual truth, bro. That's the kind of guy he is. Let's have on the one asshole who's going against the grain, and let's go with what he says. Oh, don't look at his funding. Nothing sketchy there.
What you have to do is keep the wound open and clean it.
Oh, that's
you
such
don't.
bullshit.
It's not
Oh my
bullshit.
God,
It's not.
Hey, bro, Joe Rogan just debunked the tetanus vaccine, bro. He just debunked it, bro, but he's not anti-vax. Oh, wait for that point. Oh, my God, you're going to love it. You're going to love... The guy who's currently arguing till he's red in the face about how vaccines are bad is going to dare to say, I'm not anti-vax. Sure, you're not.
Bullshit.
Do you know how many people die of tetanus
Holy
every year?
fucking
Very
shit.
few. What about
Okay,
stop.
so let me ask you a question, Mr. Joe Rogan, Mr. Scientist. Are you saying that we shouldn't
Don't
have...
do that. Don't call me Mr. Scientist. I'll start mocking you, and it's so much easier to
Are
mock
we,
you.
so are we not... So
It's a lot fucking easier to mock you, Rogan. I love how he thinks like, don't fucking... No, but he's right. This is what you do. You pretend like you're a doctor. You pretend like you're a scientist. You pretend like you have all the fucking answers. And all you get, whatever the counterculture bullshit, made up nonsense, snake oil, right-wing Twitter garbage thing of the day, he's fucking promoting it. I'm surprised he hasn't promoted methylene blue yet. The fucking fish tank cleaner that they say fixes your mitochondria. I'm surprised his tongue isn't blue and his brain isn't fucking blue yet, like RFK's dipshit dumbass.
you don't believe in vaccines? You don't think we should have vaccines?
It's not that I don't believe in vaccines.
What are you saying?
It's I don't think you
74.
should give a kid a Hep B vaccine when they're a baby.
Different subject.
So, in other words, you're not in favor of vaccines. I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm just saying you shouldn't give that particular vaccine at that particular time. So, in other words, you don't want to give it at the time that the scientists and the doctors say you can and should give it. How is that pro-vaccine? How does that make you pro-vaccine? You're not pro-vaccine. You're fucking anti-vaccine. Own it. God. The one thing that... Okay. Let me explain this to people. I would hate Rogan less if he would just fucking own it and stop being a bitch. Just say it. Just say, yes, I'm anti-vaccine. You could do your little fucking bullshit rant with all your fake facts that you like to do, that you clearly can't wait to get off your chest in this argument with him. But just own it. Why do you have to do this weaselly thing where it's like, let me argue till I'm red in the face about how vaccines are bad, but also, I'm not anti-vaccine. How dare you say I'm anti-vaccine? What a fucking weasel, bro. What a weasel. God, I have controversial beliefs, but if you call me on some of them shits, I'll be like, yeah, that's what I think. Because I'm not a bitch. I'll fucking own it. You don't want the baggage that comes along with saying, yes, I'm anti-vaccine. But at least that'd be more honest. You would be more honest. Did you know he's now a fucking polio vaccine denier? Oh, we'll get to that.
No, MMA vaccine is absolutely connected to a host of serious, debilitating fucking problems that kids have gotten from them. There's a lot of problems because they don't test vaccines in a double-blind, placebo-controlled setting. They test them against other vaccines. You know that, right?
Yes, I do. Excuse me.
What did you just say? They don't test vaccines in double-blind, placebo-controlled studies. So this is one of the points where I go, let me look that up. Do they do double-blind studies for vaccines? Yes, double-blind studies are commonly used in vaccine development, particularly in phase 3 clinical trials. In these studies, neither the participants nor the researchers who receives the vaccine or a placebo, minimizing bias in assessing safety and efficacy. This method is standard for evaluating vaccine effectiveness before regulatory approval. However, not all vaccine studies are double-blind. Some may use single-blind or open-label designs, depending on the phase or specific circumstances, like during emergency use authorizations when speed is prioritized. But in other words, yes, they do it. Whenever they can do it, they do it that way. I know where his talking points come from. They come from RFK. They come from RFK and all of his bullshit. And as I pointed to you guys before, Crystal interviewed RFK in the past, and there was one moment where it was, I believe it was specifically, he made a point on the COVID vaccine, and Crystal thought, that doesn't sound quite right. Let me jot down what he says here. And then after the interview, she went and she fact-checked it, and she found out not only was he wrong, he literally flipped the truth exactly on its head. The truth was the exact opposite of the thing that he said. And this happens all the time with a guy like RFK. Rogan listens to a guy like RFK and goes, he must be telling me the truth. Why? Oh, because he's got muscles. And you know how Rogan thinks, oh, are you a fat guy who's a doctor? You must be wrong about everything because you can't take care of your own health. You're a fat guy. Oh, RFK, you can fucking bench press? Well, now I'm going to listen to you because you must be telling me the truth. This is the sort of dipshit thinking that he's doing. He never bothers to actually look up the shit he hears. If something sounds absurd to him, he just goes, wow, that's an absurd thing that must be true. As opposed to, let me check that.
Yes, you're right. You can make the argument for Hep B. Here's why. Because the chances of a child coming in contact with the kind of activity that causes Hep B is different. So now
sexually transmitted disease and
right.
needles.
So now you say this. That chance is zero. The chance for vaccine injury with the Hep B is not zero, is non-zero. Okay, so I understand that math. Okay, what I'm trying to say to you is that there are certain diseases. Pick up a history book. Smallpox, diphtheria, mumps.
Have you ever looked at
tetanus, polio, paralytic diseases?
Have you ever polio? Please stop.
Yes. No, I won't. I won't. I know you think it's just. I've heard Susan Humphreys.
This is a long conversation that we're.
See, do you hear what he said? He said, polio, please stop. So what he's saying is, you think the polio vaccine was necessary? Please stop. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Ready?
Not going to have on this podcast because I'm going to get angry because I've researched this for years.
Right.
He's researched it for years. I found the single most discredited man on earth and read his works for years, and so now I know all of this stuff inside and out.
Let's just.
But you're not a scientist.
I don't have to be a scientist to know that.
Yes, you do.
No,
yeah, you do have to be a fucking scientist if you're fucking wrong about all of this shit. You do. Now, if you're not a scientist like me, but I'm fucking humble about that fact, and then I go with what the overwhelming majority of scientists are saying, then you can talk about it. You might actually be correct about some things if you do that. But no, he's no fucking doctor. He's no fucking scientist. He finds whatever the fringe views are, and he's all in on that shit.
Brian, shut the fuck up. I don't have to be a scientist.
Look at how defensive he's getting.
Read research to understand that they were spraying DDT all over the fucking country when everybody was getting polio. Do you know that?
Yes,
you know
I do.
the first
Yes,
instances of polio, they happened in rural communities where they were all farmland and agriculture, and then cows were getting them, and horses were getting them, and dogs were getting them.
Let me make a statement.
They were calling it paralytic polio.
Do you agree with
So do you understand what he's trying to say there? Brian, you idiot. You think the polio vaccine was necessary to cure polio? You don't know what you're talking about. The polio vaccine is not caused by the polio virus. No, it was caused by DDT being sprayed across the country. Now, does that sound like a mainstream opinion? Does that sound like what the scientists and the doctors are saying? Or is that some fucking shit he heard on some dumbass blog written by some idiot hippie? Right? I think we all know the answer to that. By the way, I don't just say shit. I'm telling you guys shit that's real, okay? When I say he gets this shit from RFK, what do we have here? Oh, look, it's RFK. What's he saying? It's, quote, mythology to claim that vaccines eliminated polio and suggested the banning of DDT is what actually eliminated polio, not vaccines. And here's Rogan parroting RFK, even though he's dead fucking wrong. If he just bothered to read the community note. What does it say? DDT was banned in 1972. The Salk vaccine, that's the polio vaccine, was made in 1953. And by 1957, polio deaths were markedly down. So, in other words, he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Here's what that looks like in chart form. Ready? Reported polio cases and deaths in the United States, 1910 to 1922. Okay. So 1955, right here, I don't know if you guys can see right where it comes down from its peak, 1955, that's where the vaccine kicked in. They banned DDT in 1972. The cases of polio had plummeted because of the vaccine. So to say it's because of banning DDT is not true at all. DDT, yes, it was banned. Yes, it was a pesticide that gave people neurological issues, but that wasn't polio. Polio had already been obliterated because of the vaccine before they banned DDT. And by the way, there are charts. You can see these charts all over the place. Short thread of my favorite chart showing the efficacy of vaccines, the public health success of the measles vaccine. Here's when the vaccine was created, 1963. Boom, absolute implosion of measles cases, and then it flatlines. We eliminated it in 2000. That bitch is going to make a comeback real quick, let me tell y'all. Polio, the beginning of mass vaccination, 1955. Boom, everything comes straight down, as you can see, and we eliminated that. HPV vaccine, you got all these charts. We don't need to go through every one of them, but, diphtheria, same thing. It was implemented in 1940-ish, 1938-ish, and then boom, cases fall off a cliff. Guys, this is like vaccines are a modern fucking scientific marvel. They're as close as we can get to an actual miracle in the real world. And Joe Rogan is a crusading anti-vaxxer. But again, the part that pisses me off the most is that he does this thing where he pretends like he's not anti-vax as he spews the world's most obvious anti-vax talking points.
It's not just.
I'm not going to do this with you,
but
Brian.
it's not just about.
I brought up
It's not just about. Hold on, Joe.
No, Brian, I don't want to do this.
But
with
it's
you.
not just about.
We're in the middle of a fight, companion. It's annoying.
All right, but it's like.
Look at how defensive and how close-minded he gets when he's pushed on a belief that he actually holds dear. Like he really, in his heart of hearts, believes vaccines are worse than they are helpful. He actually believes that. And he actually believes they cause autism, and he actually believes there's all these side effects that are worse than the actual illnesses. He actually believes that. And here, somebody's trying to push him on that, and look at how fucking defensive he gets, and how petty he gets, and how dismissive he gets when that happens. It reminds me of when he had Josh Zepps on, and Rogan said, oh, the COVID vaccine gives young men myocarditis. And you had Josh Zepps go, yeah, there is a slight increase in myocarditis with a small percentage of young men who get the vaccine, but you get more instances of myocarditis from people who just get COVID. And Rogan was not believing that, and then Jamie had to pull it up, and indeed, Josh Zepps was correct. You had more myocarditis from just getting COVID than from the shot itself, right? And this is the thing, like, even though his narratives can get busted up right in front of his face, he'll go right back to his shitty fucking anti-vax talking points.
No, it's anti-vax.
It's not anti-vax. Questioning why there's so.
See, that's it. That's the point. That's where I lose it. Is what a fucking dishonest little twerp.
It's annoying.
All right, but it's like. Being anti-vax.
No, it's anti-vax.
It's not anti-vax. Questioning why there's so many though.
My kids are all vaccinated, and they're vaccinated, but they went on a delayed schedule. They delayed schedule.
So did mine.
So he goes, I'm not anti-vax. You are literally spewing, you're going through all of the standard anti-vax talking points. On top of being wrong about all this, why do you have to be dishonest and weaselly? Just say it. Just say, I'm a vaccine skeptic. Just say it. Just say it. I can't. Again, the wrongness about all of it is bad enough, but I would hate him less if he at least wore it on his sleeve. You saw this with RFK too in his initial committee hearing when he was being grilled. He was, I'm not anti-vax. Same thing. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But at least he felt like I got to lie to get this position for HHS, which is why he lied about it. Rogan, he could just tell people I'm anti-vax. But no, he's got to fucking be Weasley about it and play hide the ball. I'm so sick of this. We live in an era of so many fucking charlatans whose voices have outsized influence, and it's really time to tear all these motherfuckers down. I'm so happy Elephant Graveyard released that fucking 2-hour just beautiful destruction of the Rogan sphere. I think it's time for another one. This time make it 4 hours and dedicate it to this. All the fucking anti-vaccine, I'm wrong about everything stuff. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.